Okay, so the next activity we're going to talk about involves these two pieces of material that I put in your bag, just a piece of purple paper in a small container, and this is salt. So we are going to do a little bit of salt writing. So I'm going to shift how I'm holding the camera so that it's pointing down, and hopefully I can coordinate the camera in my hands. I'm not necessarily a videographer by trade, so let's shift that. So I've taken my salt and I have dumped it out onto my piece of purple paper, and I just put it in a cookie sheet so that I can kind of keep the salt contained. We certainly don't want to make a mess. I use this as a multisensory tool for teaching handwriting, and we can use it for letters, numbers, sight words, math problems, lots of different reasons. So, and that's kind of the point of the tools that I give you. I want the tools to be able to be utilized for multiple purposes. So if you're working on math one day, or if you're working on writing one day, these are tools that can be a little bit more versatile. So in the way that I instruct handwriting is I do things by like groups. So we have a Magic C group. So once a child is able to master writing the Magic C, they can turn it into an O. They can turn it into an A. They can turn it into a G. They can turn it into a Q. And, ran out a little bit of space, they can turn it into a D. So if they get that first motion down, it makes it easier for them to write the rest of the letters. Next group I would teach would be a Magic L group. So we learn to start at the top and slide down to the bottom. We can turn that into a T. And they might need your help to give it a little shake. They can turn that into an H, a K, a B, and T. So there's your 5 letters in the Magic L group. The next group that I would teach would be middle beginners. These are the letters that start kind of at what we would use as that dotted middle line. We don't tend to use that as much. It can be very confusing for kids. For some kids it's very helpful, for some it's very confusing. It's kind of an individualized basis. But there are all those letters that start at the middle. So letters like U, R, P, J, M, N, R. To take a look at my list, I'll write up a finalized list in this post so that you know exactly what letters are in there. So those would be my middle beginners. Then we'd have slanty line letters. V, W, X, Y, and Z. Slanty lines, diagonal lines, are a 6-year-old skill. So if your child is having a difficult time, it's okay to give them 2 dots and have them connect those dots, giving them a target. A lot of those diagonals come from our eyes being able to slide on those diagonal lines. So we want to give those eyes some support by giving them some targets to look for. There's 3 letters that are the lone letters, I call them. They are E, S, and F, and they don't follow a pattern with any other letter in the alphabet. They all start at their own unique place, and it's just the rote practice of mastering those letters. I try not to talk to kids as though they are big letters and small letters, because letters like B as a lowercase, as a tall letter, a capital B is going to take up fundamentally the same amount of space. We just want to make sure that we're calling them uppercase and lowercase letters so that your child can start to understand the difference. And we always talk about where we use those letters as well. So it's a great tool that we can use in lots of different ways. You can use sugar. I tend to go with salt because it's not enjoyable to taste, so it keeps fingers out of their mouth. You can write in cornstarch and water. You can write in shaving cream. All of those are nice multisensory tools. Shaving cream is great to use in the bathroom in bath time, so you can spray it on the wall and have them practice their letters in there too. And it doesn't seem like quite so much work when you get to do it that way.